The next rounds, well, let us know. Which players do you guys want to follow? This is an obvious one, the two players on top of the standings on a perfect score. Will we see a winner in this game, or will we see a draw?
Oh, there's very few draws in Title Tuesday, which I quite like.
I love it.
Compared to classical chess and kind of these top events, recently the Sinkville Cup, I think something like 75% games were drawn there. Here, even if the position is level, we see some flagging, Simon.
Yeah, I think it's a really good advantage of the quicker time limits. I mean, you rarely get a draw, especially now that it's changed to 5 minutes, because you can flag your opponent. And as you said, I think earlier on, David, people do complain a bit when you get flagged, but it's part of the game. If you move slow, you deserve to lose. And this is something I found out to my problems many a time. But looking at the position here, I like White's position. But again, I think it's quite well known that I love attacking. And there's a white rook that can swing over. Black's king, to me, looks quite weak. So this is a great idea, trying to get rid of White's most dangerous attacking piece, the strongest piece, the queen. And maybe it's not so bad for Black after this move, the centralizing queen move. White has picked up a pawn, though.
Yeah, he's picked up a pawn, allowed the queen trade. It's not the best pawn in the world. The f-pawns on this file, they're going to struggle to move. I think Black's going to have great counterplay if the rooks can ever use the b file to start attacking. But yeah, for now, probably we would pick White just because of the extra material. Although Firoujza, I think he's done a good job there of just minimizing the damage and to avoid the Black king and getting attacked.
Meanwhile, I did notice that Erik Hansen is playing Cuenca in this round, and that must be Pepe Cuenca.
Pepe Cuenca.
Yeah, the fantastic Spanish commentator known for his yelling.
I can't even say it right.
And Erik is massively better on the bar. All right.
Yeah, interesting. If this game finishes soon, we could jump.
Yeah.
But for now, we stay in this clash between leaders. I do have a feeling it's going to be a draw. If there's a trade of pawns in the center, a trade of bishop for knight as well, we could see everything explode. At the end, Black will pick back the pawn that he's down, and this one should be guided towards a very quick peace treaty.
Okay. Alireza Firoujza is down on the clock with more than a minute. Does not look stressed. But could that become a big problem for him in this game, which says balanced right now?
Yeah, both players look ice cold. That's because the cameras are frozen right now. But I don't think he'd be stressed even if we could see him. Alireza Firoujza. I think he's just mulling over whether he can play for a win. But I think you need to be pragmatic here and just go for equality. Take everything off the board and try to get it down to a rook endgame.
Yeah, I think as you say, David, it looks like many exchanges are going to happen. There you go. Things getting exchanged off. It's now equal material. You might be thinking, okay, Black's got a passed pawn there, but it's quite easy to deal with. White now playing this very active move, and if anything, you in a rook ending, it's who's got the more active pieces, and White's rooks are, to my eyes, much more active. He can even consider pushing that pawn forwards and trying to get two rooks on the 7th rank. This was an idea that the old specialist Nimzovich mentioned in his book, My System. 2 rooks on the 7th rank should win the game. So a little bit of danger of Black here, especially with the time ticking down.
Yeah, it's definitely not fully safe. If you remove one pair of rooks, it's nearly definitely a draw. But here we go. Andreikin's trying to create some magic. He's trying to go on the attack, like Simon says, very, very active. The other rook can slide behind, so Black's pawn is not going to survive very long. It's just a question of whether White can break through on the other flank, just while keeping all the rooks on the board. Even 4 versus 3 on one side is draw, as long as it's only one pair of rooks remaining.
And I like this move. It's trying to tempt White into moving a pawn forward 2 squares, which would weaken White's king. White's king is very safe at the moment, but you kind of, I know it's an ending, but with 2 rooks on the board, your king can get in a lot of trouble. So more exchanges means more likelihood of reaching a drawn ending.
Meanwhile, Magnus Carlsen is much better in his round 7 game. Hikaru Nakamura is massively better in his round 7 game. And Erik Hansen is in a winning position, apparently, against Pepe Cuenca in round 7. But we are following the top guys both on a perfect score. Will we still see a player on a perfect score after round 7? It sounds like if there is a player, you think right now it's going to be Andreikin.
Probably, if anything. And that's just because Black's pawns are all isolated. White has a connect 3, nice and safe. Still going to be very hard, but the Black rook is actually quite passive in front of its own pawn. White's rook holds the key there. The Black king cut off on the back rank. this isn't Firouzja's type of position either. He's not a technician. He doesn't like these slower endgames where you need to kind of know a bit of endgame theory. You need to be very, very precise. He likes to hustle his opponents a bit, and Andreikin's a very classy endgame player. Andreikin, I should mention, he's of the 1990 generation that Magnus, Nepo, Vasil Agrava all from, and he was the first standout talent.
And yourself, David.
And
Yeah, I was
myself.
going to say, David, you were there.
He won the World Under 10 Championship ahead of all of us, though.
Really?
Andreikin. So he was the first one to stand out.
Did you play in that?
I played. I
How'd
came
you-
joint second, I think.
Wow.
Oh, that's not bad.
There were like 10 of us on joint second and Andreikin.
Yeah. Ahead of Magnus?
I think Magnus only joined maybe a year or two later. He was a bit of a slow starter.
Yeah.
I think he only picked up chess at like 9 years old on a kind of international level. But this one looking drawn in the meantime.
Yeah, I mean, Black's pawn really ties down White's pieces here, and the White King can't really do anything else here because, you know, it can't really go forwards too much. Maybe you could try going forwards now, but it's very hard to make any progress. I would try flagging a little bit here, though, because, again, this is the one big difference with this week's tournament. You can use the clock. Hang on a minute, Rook F3 is a check all day. That'd be very embarrassing.
Yeah, Rook F3 would be a nice deflection, kicking the White Rook away, but after the White Rook takes, luckily you hit the King. And, okay, Firouzja's given up his pawn. He's down to 23 seconds. This is a dead drawn endgame. White can't create a pass pawn effectively. It's a draw, but you definitely play this. You can play this one for 50 moves, 100 moves.
We know how quick, though, Firouzja is, and he's got to use that time. But White actually creeping forwards now, and the White King getting to this quite scary square. It is a draw, but keep an eye on the clock here.
And look how the Rooks are dancing. He's trying to preempt Firouzja's moves. Andreikin, he's trying to catch Firouzja in a pre-move. Because you just want to bring your rook back and forward. But if the opponent can try to threaten rooks, it can be a bit scary. Look at this, he's blocking. Can Andreikin get there? 30 seconds against just 12. It's going to be right down to the last few moments here. Oh, it's not easy to save this for Firouzja, but he's found a defensive mechanism here. It should still be a draw.
Oh, but with this time on the clock, he's under 10 seconds, and it should be a draw, but you can play another 50 moves here. And also, it's danger.
Mate in
Oh,
five.
look at this. He's
done.
allowed the rook to come across with a checkmate. He's trapped his own king in the corner. The black rook is hit as well, and Andreikin takes the point, takes the lead. 7 out of 7.
Wow, impressive stuff by Grandmaster Andreikin, who takes down Alireza Firouzja. 3 seconds left on his clock, and he loses on the board. Oh, look at that heartbreak for Alireza Firouzja. But Andreikin, all right, how is he feeling right now, David?
Wow, he's going to be buzzing. He will believe that it's destiny that he wins this tournament. We've said it before, only a handful of times has anyone ever reached 11 out of 11. It's unlikely he's going to win all of his games, but he's taken the early lead. Firouzja is a big competitor for the crown as well, so huge win.
I love seeing him on the camera there. He is so confident, and he just wants to jump up and just celebrate this.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing how they keep their cool.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the one thing I've realised, that if you start celebrating prematurely, you've still got 4 games. You lose your concentration. There's not any other sport that I've played or board game where you just have to keep your concentration. You can't preemptively celebrate. You've got to